Hey, peace reflections, good energy to all. So in this video, I actually wasn't going to make a video today. I was going to kind of just take it easy and rest. But I just saw the last video that Carbonation uploaded with Professor Nectar and Mama 8 and, oh, forgive me, I think it was Infinite 7. Forgive me, I forget exactly what the other name was, but it was a really good video. And I'm pretty sure that was Torrin from Torrin's Garden who jumped on there for a good like 10 minutes or so, and it was a very interesting exchange, I must say. And I've seen a few of Torrin's videos. I'm more familiar with Torrin than I am with Professor Nectar. I've only seen, other than today, I've only ever seen one other video of his. So anyway, it was a very good observational experience for myself, and I'm sure it was for many other reflections. But I just wanted to clarify some, my view in the whole situation, or at least how I feel about, how I observe the situation going down, and also maybe speak on a few other subjects pertaining to my journey and how things are going for me. And one of the key things that I saw, it started off really beautiful and they connected really lovely, and that was really, yeah, it was really beautiful and good, and you could see that there's a vibrational connection initially that was very strong and powerful, but then things, you know, energies get to know each other a little bit more, and you start to pick out. I mean, we're all multi-dimensional beings. There's so many of us, and the more we are, the more we are. So the more that we have, the more angles of light we are able to reflect on, the more experiences we've been through, the more passions we have at play, and this all comes into the ultimate pattern, or what you might consider the soul mind, or your personality, or what have you. So as the conversation progressed, it was clear that, Torrens was, and I have a ton of respect for what he does, and I think he's a very brilliant, beautiful human being, and, I can see where, I can totally relate where he's coming from, and, in regards to, not putting energy or paying attention to the system at hand, and that being, a sense kind of like your salvation, or not necessarily your salvation, or that can give you a sense of security and not needing to get out of Babylon. And that's a very that's a valid point. There's something to be said for that. But the only thing I have to say, to kind of help, because I'm always about wanting to support a higher vibrational reality for everybody, for all of humanity, because I feel and see and think and know to a good degree that we live in times that, these cities that we live in, and the type of things that come out of them, and the type of energies that people are radiating, generating, is of a low frequency, a lower vibrational base level. So with that being said, I think if we're really trying to help humanity and help ourselves get to a higher vibrational plane, we've got to give ourselves our most high self ingredients, because it requires that, man. You can't make, it's like you're trying to make a meal, or any type of artwork or masterpiece or book. You got to have the right ingredients to do it, and your most high self requires certain ingredients to accommodate. You're not going to be able to get there, no matter how smart you are, how good you are, how beautiful you are. You're still going to be able to do more. You're still going to be able to give yourself more. You're still going to be able to connect to different realms, higher realms, within yourself and with others, when you put yourself in those type of higher environments, which essentially is nature, and people who think like you in nature. that's going to give you the capacity to connect on a higher vibrational reality, and thus be able to share that love, which is really what I feel a higher vibrational reality is. A love. It's what the God. That's God's highest state is love, is life. You know, that's how I feel things are. That's how things evolve. That's how things grow. We have a desire to want to be, to want to connect with one another and share and expand and explore in a positive way that's most conducive for perpetuation of more positivity and joy. So with that being said, getting out of Babylon and living out in the woods, living out in the wilds, living out in nature with like-minded people of a similar vibrational frequency and thought pattern is going to give you more love, is going to give you more life, is going to give you a higher connection to higher vibrational realities. Because we are all affected by everything that we are all around. Everything, this whole room that I'm around in, is affecting me, is cutting me off from my higher vibrational self. It is. And I know it too, because every time I step out of this house, I feel better. I have a park very close by. I'm very fortunate to have a beautiful, I think one of the coolest parks in all of Portland, like within 100 feet of walking distance. So I spend a lot of time out there, and especially now that I've been getting sober, I'm getting my balance, getting my healing really on, getting serious about my healing and really taking my life seriously, really making real good attempts, amends, and efforts to get to my higher self and, vibrate to my tribe, wherever it may be. But I know how much better I feel when I'm outside nature. And I even think Torrance does too, because he does a lot of videos outside for good reason. There's more energy out there. There's more living energy, out there. We live in houses that are constructs. They're pretty much death boxes. All this wood around us and all these things was, they were living trees. They were living beings that were cut down prematurely. So that in itself is kind of like a negative curse or a negative spell. It's going to have a resonation of negativity associated with it. Not to mention, when you're near a living bush or a living tree, you are picking up on the energy signature and frequency of that particular tree. And every single bush, every single tree, every single animal, every single human being gives off a different type of energy. And so when you're out in nature and you're around all these things, you're going to be able to absorb and pick up on these different types of energies from all these different types of life forms. That's only going to help grow you positively. That's more life that you're getting. That's more variety. That's more creativity that you're absorbing. Information, good information, organic information. Here, we're absorbing all this death information. All these dead trees. You have all these paints that are full with toxins, which are harmful to the human body, which is essentially us, ingesting death, whether it's from the fumes or from the sight that we visually pick up on. There's a reason why when I look at paint and all these artificial colors and all these things that man has put together in an unorganic, ungodly way, it doesn't bring pleasant sights to my mind. It used to. I used to kind of be like, oh yeah, that's a shiny, cool luster, but now I'm like, wow, that's just like a superficiality that's making something appear pleasant when it's actually not. So again, just to help clarify some things, in terms of like staying in Babylon and trying not to put your mind and energy into the thought frame of Babylon and using that as your realm of security or sanctuary. I mean, you can do that, but you're still going to do yourself a disservice. There is still more. There is still a higher vibrational reality that's right outside your doorstep that you can go in and interact with and really enter into a realm that's even higher than the one you're already at. And I also know, like, I can kind of see where Torrin's going, and he's been making a lot of videos, and he's starting to get that, that confidence, that arrogance of being, very powerful of mind, very artistic, very creative. He is, like, one of his videos I saw, I was like, I don't even know how he's doing this stuff. Like, it was just amazing. Like, he really does, have a very brilliant mind. And so I know how hard it can be to sometimes listen to other people when you have so much ability of your own. Because sometimes I can, I've never really been the smartest cat in the room, but I felt very powerful. I used to feel very, we all feel invincible when we're young, so I know what it feels like to be very arrogant, to trip over my own feet, to think I know it all. And then the universe will just be like, nope, you didn't catch that one, you don't know it all. So You know, just keeping an open mind is always really good. And you know, I mean, the saying's been said a million times. You know, as soon as you start to know something, I mean, you realize how much you really don't know. You know, and we do live in an infinite universe, and we do live in a universe that's always changing. So you can never really know everything. Nobody can, because things are always changing. That's why I don't think you can ever really accurately predict the future, because it's always changing depending on so many situations. You can kind of see, you can get a taste for what may be coming. You can predict certain possibilities, and you can put percentages to those possibilities, but you can never know for certain exactly what's going to happen. You know, that's why I think, you know, trying to predict the future and, you know, all this and that is, you know, it's kind of foolish in itself too, because if you're doing the right thing and if you're giving out the good right and energy, you're going to get those type of things back in return. So it's like, why try to see something in the future when we can just do the right thing in the present and build yourself a better future with guarantees? So yeah, I just wanted to shed that out, but it was a beautiful exchange. You know, I have, you know, it was really, from my perspective, especially because I know Torrens, and I know a lot about. I spent a lot of time with carbonation, and you know, the master teacher, the honorable master teacher, Nature Boy, and you know, also, you know, Professor Nectar. My hat goes off to you, man. Like, you spit some really good wisdom. That was some jewels. Like, it was beautiful. Like, you have a very, very powerful soul, and it's very beautiful and loving, and it's very authentic, and I could tell that your heart was 100% in that. And everybody there too. It was just wonderful. You know, seeing somebody articulate the message so well. You know, I mean, there's others too, but it's always good to see more. You know, more the merrier. You know, and I just recently come across it, so it's like, wow, this is awesome. It's like another master teacher. You know, that's another thing too. We can all be master teachers of different areas, you know, but it's also, you know, there's levels to being a master teacher or a teacher, you know. I mean, you throw that master word in there, but it's really just, we're all teachers. We're all learning from each other. Even when you're a student, you're teaching the teacher. So, but, you know, and I do want to give a praise and a shout out to the honorable master teacher, Nature Boy, and say that when it comes to like a leader, you know, a leader is really just, I've always thought like the best leader is really well-rounded. Like, they're really good. They're not super, super good at just one thing, but a lot of different things they can put together in a very balanced way. This is why balance is key. And he's very good. He's very balanced. Like, he was able to gather up a lot of resources. You know, he's good looking, so he's charismatic. People like him. He's affable. He's very, 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 very smart. He's got a lot of energy, a lot of power. He's able to tap into some very, you know, masculine, you know, kind of like, you know, very soldierly, disciplined, you know, warlike energies, which is very good and powerful, and especially for getting things done. But he's also very feminine. He can also show a lot of love and emotion and care, and I can feel it coming from him. Some of my favorite times of watching his videos is when he does get very soft, you know. And he's very good at it, you know. And this is a very versatile human being, you know. And then on top of it, like, he's one of the only people that I've ever seen who've actually given me the best type of idea on what existing in this being is right now here. Like, to really, I mean, the way he illustrated how we are literally just a light pattern, an angle of light, a particular angle. Every human being, every life form has its own particular angle of light that beams down into its avatar. And your avatar, its dimensions, are able to magnetically attract, or, you know, attract your source from the sun. The sun is all, it's spraying out, it's radiating all these different rays from all these different angles, and they all are just slightly different, coming from the same source, but just slightly different. And this is what we are. We are all just different, slightly different beams of light inside this body. You know, and that's also like, you know, when you, it's like, the good question is like, how do you dream? Like, what lights up your dreams? It's the light from the sun. It's that beam of light that went into the body that is inside of you. That is the energy inside of you that is keeping this body at 98.6 degrees temperature all the time. That's almost 100 degrees. That's pretty warm all the time, just radiant until we die. And then we move on. And then we go to our next avatar. But nobody has ever in my whole life, and I've spent a lot of time on the internet and also just with human beings in general, speaking about a lot of deep things, and nobody's ever been able to give me what's that good of an articulation of what is going on in this human experience. Nobody. And I really feel like that is the closest thing, if not the exact thing, to what is really going on when it comes to having this human reality, living this human experience. Even the 13th Son never explained just that so well. I was blown away when I saw that download a few weeks ago. I was like, wow, he just, pinned it on the tail, or whatever the expression is. I mean, that really resonated very true with my soul, and it just made sense for so many things. And then you start to tap that, and you plug that in with the holographic universe. And also how, one thing that kind of got me with the holographic universe is I was like, well, I'm in a solid being. Like, how can it be a holographic universe if I'm solid? If I can't put my hand through my fist? Like, this is not holograph. This is a physical reality. But it's just that light does. It's just a thicker density of light. That's all we really are, is matter. Even Earth itself is just a split. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get too deep because I'm not a master teacher, but the way he explained it vibrated really well, and I didn't want to get too deep in the video. I wasn't even going to make a video today because it started out as a crazy day. This morning was nuts. But things have gotten better. I persevered. I kept my positivity up. I kept my morals and my principles. I didn't break them. I shed a couple of tears earlier today just because stuff was just getting crazy, and I was just like, I don't know what to do with myself. But I just had faith, and things are going to get better, and I continue to love myself and do activities that promote love for myself. And sure enough, I began to feel better. I feel really good right now, and so I'm grateful, man. I'm really grateful, and I really just want to help support, the Christ consciousness, and help people get back to nature and raise vibrations, and spread some good, messages and information as they come to me and when they come to me. So, all right. With that being said, I think I'm gonna drop this video now and say I love myself and organize a good day. And all right, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.